Welcome back to part 2 of episode 2, Dragon Bait. The Silver Swan and her captain got underway back towards the city of Seahold to the east, waiting for the dragon that they knew was lurking about to find them and finally make an appearance. The party discussed strategies for the potential battle, as well as divided themselves up into a standard watch schedule and established some of their daily routines. One of the days in the journey, about a week and a half out, there was a point where the sea became quite becalmed. And Riss actually had quite the interesting solution that he decided that he was going to effect in order to continue moving underway. Let's see what that was.
Is it possible to polymorph into a big whale? Maybe drag the ship a little bit?
Sure. Absolutely.
Does the ship need it? Ask the captain.
The captain's like, wait, you want to become a whale and tow us through the calm? Sure. She's like, all right, that's...
For
all right, you know.
second level spell for concentration, 1 minute I can do Gust of Wind, which is a strong wind 60 feet by 10 foot wide as well.
I was just about to ask if anybody had that.
Yeah, I mean, that'd work too. But she's like, yeah, but I want to see the whale.
I mean, the largest stats I could find were killer whale, which wouldn't do anything for a ship this size. But if I can get something, because a killer whale's only CR 3, and I can do up to 10. So,
yeah, I mean, you should be able to get a blue whale.
Is it character level or class level?
Yep, character level.
Oh, cool. So I could actually do, it's table tops out at a CR 9 Tyrannosaurus, but it's. Yeah, something relatively large that might be able to actually, at least get the ship moving a little bit. It's between that and some gust of winds. Hopefully we can, move it through the doldrums.
Yeah, you should be able to get a blue whale with that kind of juice. They'll rig up some stuff. It takes a little bit for the harnesses to work just right with the baleen and everything, but you manage to get, it takes a little bit during the day.
That's why I said giant squid. You can just grab on. We don't need to deal with all that.
Yeah, but the propulsion is a little different.
I can hit 5 hours worth of towing.
Okay. By the end of the fourth day, you've managed to pull the ship. The sailors think that this is like the funniest thing that they've seen, but at the same time, they're whooping you along and hollering. They think this is hilarious. That they never thought of using magic this way. They never thought that they would be in a galleon, a gunship that was being towed by a magical whale.
I'll kind of lean over to the nearest crew member next to me and be like, and now that we saved you guys some time on the trip, there's extra rations, and I'll start making my way to the mess hall.
Let's not forget that it's a magical singing whale.
Oh my god.
Might as well, right?
All right, so yeah, oh god.
You could call to the other whales. The whales a real short trip.
Yeah, right?
Get a whole pod.
You do end up with a pod of blue whales that have come to investigate this strange song that's coming from you.
We need your help.
Well, no. However, there is a point as you're running into like the last half hour of your polymorph where the singing whale show. Riss the whale, give me an insight check. The rest of the blue whales they break off early. They're having fun with the frivolity. They think that it's quite humorous, and then they just disappear on you.
Being in the crow's
nest. Yeah,
do
I get a sense of that early enough to actually ask them, Adam? Do they have language?
I will. Their communication is basically that something is watching, and it's spooking them, so they're leaving.
Thank you.
When I see the whales leaving from above?
Yeah, I mean, it's 1 minute there's a pod and they're swimming all around you, and then the next minute they just kind of aren't there anymore. They dive, and down they go. So
okay. So since there's only about a half hour left, I'm gonna surface, kill the polymorphs, and basically yell back up. Something spooked them. They said something was watching.
With that,
then Riss will kind of look to somebody to pull him back up by whatever chains or ropes or whatever we had used to make the harness. But
Peter will help him back into the boat.
Yeah.
He's tired. He needs some help up.
Misty step.
I'm not using my Misty Step just to get back up when somebody could just pull me up.
If you wait too long, the ship's gonna leave you behind out of range.
Peter helps him back into the ship.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, the sailors can very easily pull him back into the ship because he was holding on to a whale-sized harness, and now that he's no longer a whale, he's still holding on to a whale-sized harness, so...
I'll dry him off.
I can dry myself.
I thought you were too tired.
Oh, not to prestidigitate, to climb a rope 30 feet up out of the water to get back on ship, yeah.
There's only one flaw with this plan of yours, which I tried to tell you about, but you jumped in the water first. If we get attacked now, you're out your higher powered armamentation.
I am. Y'all are gonna have to deal. I probably should have held back at, like, 4 hours.
I'll
fifth level spell slots. Oh well.
I'm gonna call down from the crow's nest that I sense a dragon within a mile of us, but I don't know the direction, so be prepared.
And as he says that, a line of lightning crackles all around the ship, and you see the dragon do a flyby overhead, and the skill challenge begins.
Son of a bitch came in under invisibility.
Yep. Actually, he's been following you for a while. He's the one who created the calm so that you wouldn't be able to go anywhere. And then you turned into a singing whale, which amused the ever-living crap out of him. And he's just been watching going, what the hell is this guy going to do next? But now it's getting boring, so it's time for him to come in and grab his prize. The ship goes to alarm. Sailors spring to all hands on deck. The captain ends up flying up to the wheelhouse, and she begins to give orders to basically begin. Luckily, you've towed things long enough that there is wind that they can work with, although it's not moving in the direction that they want to go. So the captain immediately orders that the boat come about so that they are sailing with the wind at their backs to get the most speed. All right, who's going to go first? You have a dragon, blue dragon, that is flying around in the sky, staying, about 600-700 feet above. And right now had come down and basically strafed alongside of you without actually aiming at the boat, the crackling, explosive, disruptive breath of electricity.
As soon as I see the dragon, I would pop ensnaring strike and try to pin it down as best as I can.
Go ahead and give me the...
You want just like a longbow attack?
No, for your ensnaring strike, is there a save?
It's a strength save. Yeah, it's a bonus action to use it. Concentration 1 minute. The next time you hit a creature with a weapon attack, it needs to make a strength saving throw, which would be DC 15. Not very likely without some assistance, but possible.
All right.
I suppose I can. Ensnaring strike doesn't have an effect for me to send you a...
No, I'm going to say go ahead and give me the... what did we determine was the spell attack stat for you?
Oh, it's wisdom.
Right, but I'm saying, so wisdom plus your proficiency
right.
plus a roll, what other skill would give you the same bonus as that?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I do have a spell attack.
All right, give me the spell attack. You fire off the spell. You try and use the entangling force to snare the dragon's wings, but he's just too wily in the air. Strike 1.
Yep.
Next.
He's way far above us at the moment, right?
And I assume we
about
mark off
600
spell
feet.
slots and stuff like normal.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you know what if you're spending a specific spell, then you can be guaranteed to spend that spell slot.
Okay.
All right, who's next?
How high or distant is the dragon?
600 feet right about now. And he's wheeled back around like he's going to make another strafing run this round at the end of this round. Only this one doesn't look like it's going to miss.
I get to the second highest point on the ship, and I hide.
All right, why are you hiding?
Because if it gets close enough for me to cast a spell on it, he has disadvantage on his saving throw.
All right, go ahead and roll your hide. You manage to find a way to tuck yourself into corners of the rigging, which obscure the fact that you are there, but put you very close in case the dragon comes down low enough in order for you to cast a spell where you could hit it or make any kind of physical attack. 1 success. The ambush is prepped. Next.
I'm gonna go to the captain. I'm using my knowledge of magical creatures, Ouija Arcana, try to help with predicting where it's going to be to help make the strafe miss.
All right. Go ahead and give me your Arcana check as you reach into your knowledge of the arcane. And that is strike number 2.
Can I burn an inspiration?
Sure. This time you manage to remember that left and right you have to use port and starboard, otherwise the captain doesn't understand exactly which way has got to go. And you manage to point out different ways that you could maneuver through, and the captain begins executing a series of basically evasive maneuvers, granting the ship a bonus to its armor class for the dodge for any upcoming strafing attacks, making it very difficult for the dragon to simply come upon it and rain electrical fire death down on you. 2 successes. Who's next?
It's too far away. It's obviously too far away for me to yell at it, right?
Oh, I'm sure you could yell and have somebody 600 feet away from you hear you.
I think it was most recently within 60 feet because it lightninged us, so it's probably within at least 120-ish.
No, he's been saying it's up 600 feet right now.
Yeah, because it did the strafing
okay,
run,
okay.
and then it
Gotcha.
lifted up, turned around, and is now beginning to position itself for the next run. It will get close, but it's currently out of most ranges.
For skill challenges, what's the sort of ratio between a round of skill challenges and like a combat round? Is there any relation at all, or
Nope.
nothing? Okay,
Nope. We are in cinematic time.
gotcha.
Just so long as everybody takes their turn before the hazards of what's going on, and then any resolution for different things that are happening.
All right, so Riss is going to. Well, it's you want to go first, Peter?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, Riss is going to use major image, which is more than just image. I can do sounds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I will basically make a 20-foot tall version of me standing on the deck. Major difference is that I will be wearing a kilt, and I will point up to the dragon, bend over, slap my bare buttocks at it, and then use the major image to magnify my sound and basically disparage his worth as a dragon.
Go ahead and roll a charisma-based attack.
How about deception or persuasion?
Sure, we'll give you deception.
And I can't roll less than 10.
Actually, we're gonna
No?
erase that roll. You're gonna give me an intimidation check, but you're gonna use charisma as your stat for it.
Intimidation
Well, that's
is
normally
charisma.
what it is anyway.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
That is
And
not
dang
nearly
it,
as
I was going to do a charisma or intimidation roll myself.
Well, you don't have to worry about it because it's individual. So.
All right.
Yeah, so as long as you don't do too.
All right, you manage to, as it's coming by, it opens its mouth to begin to to blow a second time, and you make rude and suggestive gestures at it, questioning its parentage, and it kind of gives a little hiccup of a burp, and it completely misses its pass by, and it howls in rage as it flies off the other end of the ship and begins to set itself up for another pass through.
How
3
close-
successes.
How close was it going to get to the ship on that pass? Estimate.
You wouldn't be able to take an action until next round anyway. What you notice is that it's up at 600 feet, but it does dip down when it's about to, when it's making a run. But it dips down and then it lifts back up again, so it does a flyby attack, which means that you could hit it, but you'd have to time it properly.
And Adam, with the timing, is it kind of coming down the length of the ship, or is it coming across midships?
Oh, it's going the length of the ship.
Okay.
You can tell that what it wants to do is maximize whatever damage it's going to inflict on the ship by breathing the length of it from stern to tip to stern.
Okay, has it come consistently in the same direction on both passes now then?
Well, it seems to be now, yeah. It seems to be setting itself up again for another flyby attack for the next one. So we had Lilo do his thing, we had Riss do his thing, we had Espy do her thing, we had Vetimus do his thing. Peter, what's your action for the round?
Well, Peter Brew's going to do something similar to what Riss did, so I regret not going first, because mine would be pale in comparison. I'm not 20 feet tall slapping my bare ass. I also just realized I haven't been telling or using Inspiring Leader every morning. From here on out, consider Inspiring Leader being used every morning.
All right.
Giving rallying speeches to the troops.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Peter, where are you, by the way? And I don't know if anybody else wants to like themselves up on deck since we're all kind of acting like we're up there.
Yeah, where's the captain? I should probably move to wherever she is.
Yeah, maybe up on the poop deck.
Yep, behind the mast on the poop deck by the wheel.
Can we get dark? It's daylight out, isn't it? All right, I can see where people are now. So yeah, Peter's yelling challenges at the dragon, suggesting that the dragon's too scared to take him on.
Go ahead and roll Intimidate.
Person.
Yes, you just managed to get him. You know, he turns around and is looking at the 20-foot giant, and then he sees this puny little cat thing that's managing to call up to him, insulting his honor and his courage. And he's like, who the hell are these people? So that is, 4 successes? Yep, 4 successes. I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw as the captain veers suddenly, following the advice of Umlillo. Umlillo, you can make it at advantage because you knew that the veer was coming in the particular direction. Everybody else is kind of taken unawares. And if your second one does it for you, Espy saves handily. Peter, you are knocked down on one knee as the ship lurches unexpectedly under your feet. Lillo, you find yourself, you're fine. Vetimus, where are you, Vetimus? There you are.
I'm up in the crow's nest.
Oh, you're up?
Oh yeah, I'm up in the crow's nest. Oh, is there an extra spot for that? I didn't see it.
Yeah, down behind the midships.
Okay. All right, cool.
So Vetimus, I need you to roll 4d6 as you fall out of the crow's nest onto the deck, and that's how many hit points you take.
Wait, is it possible?
Back online.
Am I close? Well, no, I'm not close enough to him, am I?
If you want to sacrifice your ambush in exchange for trying to save Vetimus, I will allow it, but that'll be your action for this round. If you succeed, then there's no new successes tallied, because it's basically aid another. But if you fail, then it does count against the strikes.
Nope, he's too far away from me.
Okay.
Yeah, he's too far away from me now too.
Well, now he's on the deck.
Still more than 50 feet away. Featherfall is kind of limited in range.
He has almost 100 hit points to begin with. He's fine. But you do have the wind knocked out of you. You are prone, so you're going to have to basically stand up before you do anything, or else come up with some ingenious way to act this round from a prone position. The captain, once you've hit the deck, the captain's like, sorry!
It's not the first time I've fallen. Won't be the last.
All right, who's first?
I think I went first originally, right?
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. That's
different every round. So who's going to go first this round? You got 4 successes. You got 1 strike against you. You've managed to significantly anger the dragon to the point that he seems rather enraged at both Peter and Riss, and is coming back towards the boat. Although whether to do a breath attack or to settle on the deck is still to be determined.
I will note that 10-foot square is where Riss actually put the image of the 20-foot Riss.
That's fine.
It's no longer there.
I've got something if nobody else does, but it's not like game changing.
Go nuts.
Well, Riss's plan this time through is to wait for the dragon to come through to make his pass and to hit it with undeniable logic if it gets within 60 feet of it. Which is going to do some damage to it and will make it roll at disadvantage on its next save.
Yeah, I was going to wait for it to kind of, when Adam mentioned it kind of swoops down a little bit to make the breath attack, I was going to wait until it was close enough and use my cunning action for steady aim and sort of like really focus on where the dragon's going to be to give myself advantage to hopefully ensnaring strike it, but that was the idea.
You wouldn't be able to ensnaring strike it again.
You
could. Entangling was the other one, right?
Well, I guess I don't know how duration spells work because it lasts for a whole minute.
No, he said because it's a skill challenge, you can't repeat your action from the last turn.
Right, you'd have to come up with a different tactic. You can make an attack, but it would be a different kind of attack than the ensnaring strike.
Yeah, that's what's weird because the ensnaring strike spell is a concentration 1 minute whenever you.
Yeah, but this is not
in combat.
This is we're in more cinematic time, so So you've tried that special ability. It didn't work against this particular foe at this point in time. If we're still in combat next round, then you would be able to use it in round 3.
Yeah, I'll just defer to somebody else then. I've just got a regular bow shot.
You can take the help another action. That lowers your
will.
difficulty check, and it means that success doesn't count against successes, but if you fail, it does count against the failures.
I will help another.
And how will you help another?
I will try to call out where I think the dragon is going to be to...
Roll nature. All right, no problem. So who are you trying to help with it?
Who had just said that they were gonna... is it Enfeebling Mind or something?
I just need to yell at it, so it just needs to get within 60 feet of me.
Espy was the one waiting with an attack.
Yep.
Mine's a spell attack also.
Yeah, but that way it drops your DC for that spell attack.
It gives you advantage.
Remember, this isn't combat. Everything is a skill check.
Correct.
We're good. You've got it set up so that you're basically calling where it's going to have to weave through the sky as both the captain and the dragon are dodging back and forth with the boat. You're beginning to take some water, green water, over the sides of the decks as the boat is tipping precariously in order to execute these maneuvers with its bulk. Not exactly what it's meant for, but she seems to be just fine in making it do so, and the ship is responding. Meanwhile, Vetimus is basically drawing a bead on where the dragon is going to have to fly through the sky, giving people, so the next person that's going to take a shot at it, some form of advantage or assistance in their next attack. Who else is going? Dragon is coming back on its way through for a second pass by, and it looks like it's going to be probably down to about 100 feet over the boat when it finally lets loose with its breath.
So we can't do damage and skill checks, right?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I have a 300-foot range spell.
All right, what are you going to do?
I'm going to try to nail it with Uluk's freezing spear.
Go for it. Give me the attack roll or the save, whatever it is that triggers the spell.
Standing by.
Wait, like a regular attack would count as a success?
Yes, basically what you're doing is you're using the combat action and you're trying to, it's a little bit more cinematic. It's not just a single attack. It's a series of attacks, or in this case, it's a series of, using arcane energy to finally summon forth Odaluk's freezing sphere in a position.
DC
Or-
16.
Yeah, it's venomous kind of sort of thing. You would be shooting at it not so much to actually do damage to it, but like if you could make it think that its wing is about to get hit, it might veer out of the way so that it doesn't get hit by the arrow, but then that takes it out of its attack path or something along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah, skill challenges are all about how can you use your character's ability the same way that you might see one of the Avengers use one of their abilities on screen, and hopefully not destroy New York in the process.
I'll have to ask for Hawkeye's trick arrows then.
Well, there you can ask. All right, so what you doing? You gave the save.
Yep, it's a DC 16 con save. I don't have a creature to target, or do I?
You do. It's on the tracker.
Okay.
Or either way. All right, so the way that this should go is more of an attack than a save. So with a 15 plus, it'd be +8 for an arcane attack, right?
Right.
So for that, I'm going to say that it's not so much that the dragon saved against you, it's that you were able with go ahead and give me another roll, because we had Vetimus calling out where exactly in the sky this would be. So what we see is Umlilo reaching up and casting forth these freezing spheres of energy, a couple of which miss as the dragon weaves and dodges, but then Vetimus is able to kind of pinpoint exactly in the sky where he's going to be, and you'll at least get, one success from this, because that's enough in this one, but just go ahead and see if you get a crit.
I can roll an attack roll, sure. And I can crit.
Wow.
Go ahead and roll your critical damage. So that's it's 10d6.
That just burnt my 1 6th level spell slot.
And with that, you nail the dragon in the head with the freezing sphere. Ice forms on its wings, and it can no longer complete it because you scored a critical hit, and that counts as 2 successes. That brings you to 6 successes for the challenge. The skill challenge has been successfully passed, and the dragon has to come to a landing on the ship. Everybody
Do I
roll
get my
initiative.
extra critical damage?
Oh, I gave you your extra critical damage.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious.
I guess I'd rather than that one on initiative.
Lilo.
Lilo, you get a plus 12 to initiative?
I
oh,
do.
You add your int. That's right.
I add my int, and I have an alert. Took the alert feat for 5 more.
Excellent.
I like going first.
Because then there is no second.
You'll take half damage and burn a 5th level spell slot.
SB, you may attack with advantage.
You mean move up to it? All right, I'm just got to look for where I am.
So if you look at the 3 masts on the main deck, you're the one on the forecastle, but you're up.
Oh, so I'm all the way to the right of the ship. I'm on the bow.
Yep.
So he is way too far away from to cast anything, and he's way too far away for me to attack.
Misty step to one of the other ones. I'll allow it.
Okay.
You can burn your advantage because of how you positioned yourself in the successes for the skill challenge to get extra mileage out of your Misty Step so that you move basically from the aloft 4 to the aloft main, and you should be within range to cast down at it.
I am. All right, I will Misty Step.
There's a soft whoomph from up above, and
But
because Vedimus has his primal senses on, he can feel that there's a fae that has gotten closer.
But I can't cast another spell because I just did Misty Step. Unless it's a cantrip.
You can cast another cantrip because the other's a bonus action. Yep.
All right, where's my token, Adam? Oh, okay. So I ended up here someplace, right? Middle?
Yeah, as long as your base is touching the mast, you're fine. But you're up, unless you went down to the main deck.
Okay, so I will do a booming blade attack.
Okay.
Is this SB?
I know.
I can't cast another spell. I gotta do something.
Might as well get your hands dirty once.
But not advantage, right? Just a straight roll then.
Just a straight roll.
And the booming blade. Hold on. Oh, I didn't code that right. Probably immune to it, and that's all I can do.
Percentile dice, SB.
Luck roll?
It dies. It only had 1 hit point left.
Oh my goodness.
No! No, I wanted.
Oh,
Oh.
piece of shit. I rolled 1 point under average with that spell.
Well, SB finished the job. And down goes the blue drake.
SB Dragon Slayer.
Okay.
FB the Dragon Slayer?
Oh my.
You gotta write that up. SB,
Well,
Misty steps out of nowhere to give a final blow.
After kind of like shaking my head from the fall all the way down to the deck, I'll just look up and see SB slay the dragon. Soloed it, just bow by
There are an
himself.
awful lot of sparks flying off of Lilo right now. Veritable Roman candle.
I just toss all my hair in the wind.
The crew gives a great and powerful cheer, and you have a blue dragon. Ta-da!
ta-da.
I'll
Right.
walk up and kick it for making me fall out of the crow's nest.
That was anticlimactic.
What?
I was scared shitless. Oh shit, I'm standing in front of a dragon.
Look, I knew that if you guys could manage to get it on the deck, that a level 12 party with senior players would not have any trouble dispatching a young blue drake.
Right. Just the whole critical Odalukes on the way in. Just yeah.
Yeah, the
It's
critical
really,
is
really
the
good.
critical is what did it for you, because the critical I applied the damage full.
Peter looks at the dragon slaying sword, says, shrugs, and reads sheath it.
Dragon steaks for lunch, anybody?
No, but I want a dragon scale.
The rest of the trip will pass uneventfully, and you will manage to make it into the harbor at the Dwarven City, which is where we will start the next phase of the adventure. Congratulations, everybody. That was a job well done.